Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do you know? The final fallout of Warner Bros. Games division, where the boss, David Haddad, has finally decided to leave the company. This is after the massive failure of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and how that game has announced that it's going to be shutting down and be basically going offline and having an offline mode. Apparently, that failure and the amount of money that they've been losing all throughout has led to the departure of David Haddad. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think this shocks anybody, right? I mean, we were talking about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and all the failures that were happening with Warner Brothers. We were saying that heads were going to roll. It was only a matter of time. You cannot be losing hundreds of millions of dollars over and over and over again for you to quite simply just stick around and everything's going to be fine. Eventually, they're going to come for you at the executive branch. You can only blame the developers so much before people start looking towards you as being the problem. And David Haddad is now leaving the company right after the failure of Suicide Squad. So let's get into this article, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says Warner Brothers Games boss David Haddad is set to leave the company, according to a new report. Variety said Haddad will leave his role as president of Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment after 12 years of leading Warner Bros. Games. This guy was in there for 12 years, and all it took was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League for you to get completely thrown out. Not only just that, Multiverse too. Multiverse has lost them an ungodly amount of money. It's about half of what Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League lost them, from what I remember when I did a video on it. But still, between Suicide Squad and Multiverses, they have lost an insane amount of money, to the point now where the CEO is being held responsible, which is exactly how it should be, right? I don't really agree so much with firing the lower level people, although at the end of the day, yes, they are activists, of course. Yes, they are psychopaths, a lot of them, but I don't agree with firing them right off the bat. Everything comes from the top. Whatever the lower level does it's allowed by the top. So after a certain point, you have to start looking at the top and start wondering if something is wrong up there and if it's trickling down to everybody below them. The company had about troubled 12 months, first with the catastrophic release of Rocksteady's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and then the disappointing release of Smash Bros. Style brawler Multiverse. Warner Bros. Discovery has said that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League failure contributed to a $200 million hit to its business, and Multiverse has added another $100 million hit on top of that. Okay, so I was right. So it's half of Suicide Squad. So with those two combined, they're almost at $500 million. Can you imagine that? Two games combined and you're almost at $500 million. Warner Bros. Games' only new game releases during the third quarter of 2024 was Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, which failed to make an impression. Yeah, Harry Potter Quidditch has completely tanked for the most part, and to be honest with you, I'm okay with that, because I feel like they took that out of Hogwarts Legacy and they try to sell it as a separate game, and I can't support that, right? This is the reason why I never bought it, even though I'm a big-time Harry Potter fan, and I realistically would have bought it. Once I realized that they screwed us and they took Quidditch out of Hogwarts Legacy just to sell it to us later down the line, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not buying that. Speaking in a financial call, Warner Bros. Discovery president and CEO David Zaslav said that we recognize the games business is substantially underperforming its potential right now. Since then, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League post-launch content has come to an end with the delivery of its year one roadmap. Warner Bros. Has yet to announce Rocksteady's next game, but is reportedly helping out on a director's cut of Hogwarts Legacy. The legendary British studio has suffered a number of layoffs in recent months. Listen, Rocksteady's got to go back to single-player Batman games. That's what they do. That's what they're known for. And I understand that the team that's there right now are not the ones who made the Arkham series, but at the end of the day, fucking find the people who made the Arkham series and bring them back. That's basically it. That's all I can say. Bring them back and let's get the single-player Arkham games back on track. And I guarantee you will have a big hit on your hands as long as you do it right. As long as you don't try to wokeify it. As long as you actually respect people who enjoy the previous games and you bring them back, I think you will have a massive success on your hands, because people are looking for that. Anyway, there are also question marks over Mortal Kombat 1's financial performance, although NetherRealm chief Ed Boon recently announced over 5 million sales and teased future DLC following the release of the T-1000 Terminator guest character. During the same financial call, Zaslav said that Warner Bros. Was doubling down on 4 games: Hogwarts Legacy, which is a sequel that's already in the works, Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, and DC, in particular Batman. Warner Bros. Recently published VR game Batman Arkham Shadow exclusively on the MetaQuest 3 and has a Wonder Woman game in the works at Monolith Productions. Now, this Wonder Woman game I find to be very interesting. I wonder if it's very similar to the Arkham games. If it is, I think that would be pretty cool, and I would like to see something like that. But if it's another live service garbage game, I'm out. I'm so over this live service garbage where every game has to be a live service game. It's ridiculous. There's no reason for this many games to be live service games. We need good single-player games that can fill up players' backlogs, that they can play whenever they're ready to, or some of them might play day one. But that's what we need. We need good experiences that people will enjoy and talk about for years to come. But then he finalizes and says, we are focusing our development efforts on those core franchises with proven studios to improve our success ratio, Zaslav added. According to Variety, Haddad will stay on with Warner Bros. Discovery for the next 3 months as the company looks for his replacement during an apparent quieter release schedule. So the guy is going to ride out into the sunset and wait for him to be replaced. That's basically what's going to happen. It'd be hilarious if he was replaced by a woman, but that's besides the point. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we have the final nail in the coffin of what happens when you release garbage and gamers don't want it, right? Multiverses, people didn't want it. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, people definitely didn't want it. You know what? Let me rephrase. Let me change that narrative a little bit. People wouldn't have minded Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I think there was definitely a player base that was looking forward to that, and I think that's provable considering they hit almost 14,000 players on Steam by itself. I think they could have had something. They could have had something that maybe over time would have grown through word of mouth, but unfortunately, they gave us garbage. They gave us a game that was broken, had game-breaking bugs. They had to reset the leaderboards multiple times. The game was absolute trash. We're not even getting into the woke nonsense. We're not even getting into the SBI nonsense because everything that came before it was enough for most gamers to ignore the game or at least back out and say, yeah, this is dumb, I'm done, right? Like there's no way that you go from almost 14,000 players to 1,000 in a month or less. Honestly, it was less. 14,000 to 1,000. That is absolutely insane. So it's very clear that Suicide Squad was one of those games that was, ironically, with its namesake, going to kill off a company or at least start to cause some backfire like this. And now we have the CEO stepping down because he has no choice. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.